Alrighty. Take 2 or 3. Sorry for that. Sorry for the delay. Here I thought it was going to be down to the minute, and then last second I remembered, oh, I have never changed the title before, and I have no idea if I know how to, or if I even can. And I'm actually still not 100% sure if I could have. But thank you so much, Emily, who jumped in and said she fixed it. I hope it's fixed. I hope you see it. I hope you can hear me. I hope things are working. I'm going to go Alt-Tab quickly to the chat so I can see that. All right. And yeah, so I hope I am live and that you do see me. I'm so happy to see those of you who I saw had already appeared in the chat. And of course, it's always wonderful to have anyone at all. But for those of you who who are new, and especially for those of you who are regulars who've come here before, thank you so much for joining me once again on this adventure in what is my 3rd stream ever here on the Transverse Network with the Builder's Block Show. And thank you, Emily, so much. And sorry for not thinking of asking that before. It was literally as I hit start, I'm like, oh wait, that doesn't look right. Cool. So here we are once again. And the show that you are being so kind enough to watch is, as I mentioned before, called The Builder's Block. And The Builder's Block is a segment of one of the many shows that we have on the Transverse Network. But this particular show is all about sharing some of the creative folks, hopefully myself included, in the trans community who love to create, love to build. And there's a few of us who thought we could do a somewhat interesting show and share some of those things that we build, some of those things that we create with you, and as well as hear what you think about it, what you create, and be a vehicle both to share creativity, but of course to hear yours as well, and all create together. My particular specialty, so we have 3 people so far who are contributors to the Builder's Block. We have Emily, who customizes some awesome Star Wars droids, paints and details them. They look amazing, super cool. We have Rosa, who builds mecha out of kits, extremely fine detailed sets that are pretty fascinating. And with me, the contribution is building with Lego. I am a massive Lego nerd, as frankly many are in the world, but it definitely has been a lifelong passion for me. I've always loved building. I've always loved creating. And hey, Ashley, thank you so much for coming. And thank you for involuntarily volunteering to be in my promo and in the pick today for what we're going to build. Yeah, so I as I was kind of monologuing, I love building with Lego brick. And that's what I want to focus on. And in doing that, I don't want you to think I'm just some random that happens to love Lego. I like to think I have some ability in there. And so to kick things off, as we usually do, and by usual I mean what I did last show, is I'm going to share one of the things I've built in the past, and walk through a little bit, show you, what I was thinking, how I built it, how I created it, and hopefully give you a sense of why it's a passion for me, and therefore why it might be worthwhile for you to watch and get to see when we actually build some things live here right after that. So I think people said my sound was okay, and that's awesome. I do want to double check that my voice versus the music is okay. For right now, actually, I don't really even hear the music, so I hope you do at least hear something, but that's not more than my voice. I also wanted to check on the AC, because right now I have the AC running. I don't know at all if that's being picked up here, so let me know if you're hearing any fuzzy sounds from that. So you say no music. All right, I'm going to try to turn up the volume a little bit. Let's see if we can get some little bit of EDM playing in the background. Stay. Now? Hopefully a little bit of music going on. Alright, let me know. Hopefully it's better. Hopefully it's there. You can hear the AC, but it's not bad. Okay, that's good. Well, if it gets disruptive, we'll do it. If I get cold, I'll turn it off, or cool enough, and we can see how that goes. Awesome. Well, that's so wonderful, Jean. I hope the music is both in your heart and at least a little bit in your ears from what I'm doing. Still no music. All right. Well, just sing for you? Goodness, that's more pressure than the building. I don't think I could sing. Let's do this little tweak here. I'm gonna start. It's all part of the educational process. I'm gonna... Anything there? Thank you, Julie. And also thank you. Shout out to Julie. Not only shout out to Emily, who actually fixed the title, but for Julie, who rapidly hopped on and was sharing her own screen, trying to show me how to do it. Sadly, I don't think I didn't see the same options in OBS as she had. I think it's because I'm a guest contributing to the Transverse Network. I didn't see the same options, but thank you so much, Julie, for that rapid assist and willingness to help. Let's get to it, shall we? Now, when you're building, it's important, and especially while you're talking while building, rare occurrence, but does happen, it's important to be able to talk consistently, and that usually means adding a little bit of lubricant, both socially and liquidy. So here is what I am drinking tonight. Oh, thank you, Jeannie. That is very sweet. I am drinking and wearing and doing a lot of things in homage to the vacation I just came back from. I spent last week for 9 days a wonderful time at the shore in Provincetown, Massachusetts. And if you don't know P-Town, it is basically the gay Mecca or the gay Medina. I don't quite know, and I hopefully I'm not being offensive in referencing that. I mean that as a cultural reference, not at all in any way blasphemous, but just to say it's a place that you do want to make, I think, a trek to if you're a member of the LGBTQ plus community. I've heard about it for years. It was the first time I've ever gotten to go, and so I went along with my other friends, Ashley, who's here in the chat, and Jessica, who may be able to guilt later into appearing as well. But we spent a fantastic 9 days out in a condo in this beautiful beach town, going to beaches with frankly unreasonably nice weather. We were expected to be far colder than it was. We got an amazing weather, amazing experience, and I bought way too much stuff. We went to the one winery twice, as well as a brewery. I came back with a case of wine and beer, and to finally get back to my original point, we're going to have some of that now. This is Bearded Mistress from Provincetown Brewing. So I'm going to open up. It is an IPA. Saying that correctly? Yes, it is an IPA. So here we go. Not poured that way too directly. It's a lot. But that's great. It was giving you lots of flavor. I'll just let it calm down a little bit there. Okay. So what to show you? I think I mentioned, advertised my own little site before. But I'm going to bring it up now. This is my website, justjust42.com. Feel free to check it out. There was nothing, if you saw me on here before, the last time I was sharing and streaming a few weeks ago, I also showed the site then. There is nothing new that's been added to the site lately, mostly because I was on vacation. And as Ashley is rightly acknowledging, I was a huge contributor to the planning of that trip. Don't believe her or Jessica when they say they planned every single aspect of the trip. All of our activities, our locations, what we ate, and what we did. My emotional support was no question an equal amount of effort as what was done in their more, venal, regular, boring, actual planning, scheduling, and reserving things contributions. So I just want to make that clear. If you hear any incorrect rumors that I was not a huge part of the planning of the trip. Is a vicious lie. That's all there is to say there. All right, that was a very random aside that was probably applicable to like one person. Here's my site, and my site is relevant in this context because not only does it have a variety of different bits of information about me, it will eventually have bits of information about my story, and as I transition what that has been for me so far. I started writing, haven't quite finished my own story. I plan to expand a number of areas. But most critically and relevant for this show, it also has my Lego creations. And so that's where we're going to go and dive in and show you one of the things here on the site. As you're looking at the site, one thing I just want to highlight, I added in some more pictures that rotate into the homepage. This little beautiful drawing right here was done by my friend Gina. I'm honored that she did it. I think it's simply gorgeous. I'm excited. I'm going to see her this weekend, so I'll get the physical print. I have the frame back here underneath the desk. I'm going to put it in. But it's a beautiful drawing that she did. And so just to shout out, and Gina is also on Instagram. I can't remember her username right now, but I'll say her. She's an awesome person to follow and be connected with. Not least with because she just got a bump up to be executive editor at Reuters News. So she's a cool person to know, and of course wonderful to see that kind of representation from the trans community in the professional world. So just shout out for Gina and her many talents. To the creations. Last time on the last show, I added this component, and it was recommended by my friend Ashley, who is a wonderful person aside from her vicious rumors that I didn't contribute to the planning of our vacation. And she recommended that I share some of what I built in the past to again give a sense of why am I worth listening to about building things in Lego? Why am I worth watching building things about Lego? And I shared this building that's up here in the header of this site. And I went way too big because frankly it's one of my favorite buildings and one of the most involved things I've ever built. So I'm going to try to see if I can live up to that in any way. And what I'm thinking I'll share is my courthouse right here. And so we'll click into this. But right now you are seeing my Lego courthouse. And this is like all of my buildings built to what's called the modular standard. Modular buildings are a series of sets that Lego introduced years ago that conform to a specific set of specifications. These buildings, thank you, Ashley, for sharing Gina's Instagram title, or Instagram tag. Awesome person. One of my best friends and podmates. So this standard, that Lego building standard, the modular standard, is something that is you can be found in official Lego sets. There are a number of Lego sets, usually a new one released every year, that is comprised of a number of common elements that if you follow them, you can easily build other custom buildings that match that standard too. They're built off of a standard base plate. And sometimes you can do multiple wider ones or narrower ones, but still the base unit is the base plate, the standard Lego base plate. They have so much sidewalk. They have certain points on the sides where there's little pin connectors that the buildings can attach to each other. And having that standard just helps to set realistic expectations on what I'm going to build, as well as I contribute to a bigger Lego user group, a lug, that presents sometimes. We do shows at different places back in the before times when you could do a show. And by building to that standard, you can mix and match multiple people's buildings, put them all together, and they'll all fit together because they're all built to that same modular standard. Brief pause for drinking. Ooh. The nice thing about that modular standard as well is the word modular, because not only are the buildings something that you can put together with other buildings, the buildings themselves almost always open up. You can take off the roof, you can take off the floors, you can go inside. And so that's something that I really prided myself in when I build my buildings, is that I not only work on the exteriors, which usually are my favorite parts, I do also try to fully furnish all of my buildings. And that's some of what we'll get to dive into. So, hey Janice, thank you so much for coming. Yeah, just in time, just as I start to share. Ooh, and I heard a notification, but I didn't see it because I put my chat window over top of the display window. Oh, we have a new follower. Thank you so much for following. I hope you will like it, and it's a great advantage of following because not only are you following this show, you are following multiple other shows with trans creators, and I think you'll hopefully enjoy them. Julie sent you. Well, she did a good job sending you, and you did a good job listening. Thank you for coming. And so glad to have you here. Well, I was just seeing and starting to share one of my Lego buildings I built in the past. And so this particular one, which I uploaded in 2013, so it's actually a building I built relatively early on in my series of buildings. Just see the district. This is my 10th building. I'm up to like 35 buildings now, I think. But this is my 10th custom building I built. And there's some cool aspects to it, I think. I have a little justice figure here holding 2 law books. That works. And different little ornamentation. I had these big frames around the windows, which is something new I was experimenting with, as well as across the bottom, with the different little stylings, the little bricks, the grooves down the middle, trying to use these different elements in ways that I thought gave it a little bit of architectural detail. That was nice. Now, one thing that was particularly crazy is I built multiple roofs for this building, multiple versions of what the top of the building could look like. This one by far was the most intricate. See all those little green things? Every one of those little things is an individual piece. It's called a cheese wedge, or we call it a cheese wedge. I don't know if it's officially called a cheese wedge, but they're these tiny little pieces. I'm going to rip one off a building I have to the side here to show you. But this little piece, this cheese wedge, as you can see right here, is super tiny. The base is 1 stud by 1 stud wide, super small little pieces. And, oh, thank you, Janice. I'm glad you like the windows there. So these little pieces here, they add up quickly when you are building something like this. So that roof, I think has... I remember I counted it. Right now in my head, I'm thinking 600 pieces. I don't know if that's true. I counted it, but it's been a long time, so I don't remember. It was a lot. I placed multiple orders for additional wedges because I always underestimated how many of the suckers I was going to need. But yeah, tons of these dark green wedges to make that roof effect. And I really do love how it came out, but it took so long and it was so painful to push those onto the plates. But I also have other versions. And so this is that same building with the red roof, which I thought had a more Italianate kind of feel to it. Good question, Bubbles. This took me, I want to say it probably in total was built over the course of a couple weeks. Practically speaking, the building usually goes much faster. Like the actual construction of the building is something that if I was to put all of those moments back to back, could be done in about a day. The challenge almost always is it was twofold. One, do I actually have the pieces on hand to build it, or can I find them readily to build it? That's not always an easy thing. That can be very time consuming. When I don't have them, like in this case, the cheese wedges or these slope pieces, these white slope pieces on the roof, I had to place orders and then wait for those to come in to finish it. And the other chunk of it is that all of my buildings are custom, and they're almost all completely unplanned. I usually don't know what I'm building when I start off. Oh, Julie, that'd be such a thing if you could rebuild that in Minecraft. Yeah, and at least then you'd have a guide. I think that's my problem is I usually have some minimal thought. I think in this building I thought I want to do a building with white edges and a different color on the second floor, and I want to build a courthouse. That was like the extent of my thinking, and then I just kind of dived in and started. And because I don't plan ahead, sometimes things don't always work out well or as perfectly, and often it means a lot of rebuilding, a lot of tearing things down and rebuilding when I realize, this is not working. I need to go in a different direction. Hey, Mira. So glad to have you here. Yeah, so in this case with that building, that's part of for me, the longer stretches of time are those moments when I'm deconstructing and reconstructing. I'm saying, gotta watch those ums. Or the us. This is another view of the front. I probably have lots of nonsense shots. I'll kind of click through those relatively quickly to get to the meat. And thank you so much, Julie, for sharing my website. Here, before going to the interior of the building, this kind of gives you insight into how that modular standard plays out. So you can see I put this building between 2 other of my buildings, a pizza shop and a bar and apartments. Or I think it's a bar and a music venue on the other side. Those 2 buildings were built at completely different times from this building. But because they're built to the modular standard, I can just slide them all right together and boom, they line up. And it could be my buildings, it could be other people's buildings. As long as you're building to the standard, it all meshes together well. So again, the angle on the roof. So this is now, we're going down to the first floor. There's a lawyer waiting with his attaché case. I figure he's a lawyer. Good old bowler hat. And now we're starting to take a peek inside. And this is the first floor of the courthouse. And of course, when you come in, you have some officialdom, you have a state steel there, very important. And equally important are the security guards making sure that you're not bringing anything dangerous into that courthouse. And so that means you got to put that that metal detector to use. So there's a little gated area, the place where you can run your suitcase or briefcase, what have you, through that metal detector, get that checked out. Oh yeah, sorry, well, you probably came a little bit late. All I do is build custom Lego stuff. So this is my contribution to the Builder's Block. When I'm on this show, you're going to see me doing Lego stuff. And so this is one of my custom Lego buildings. And no need to be saying sorry. I'm glad you got to see it and figure it out. So see, looking down here at the building, you can see I got this nice little edging to the floor, a little design in the floor. I got water fountains over here at different heights next to a couple bathrooms. And that's a big thing for me when I build my buildings. For some reason, I don't know why, but I always have bathrooms in them because I want my buildings to be realistic, darn it. And so I built bathrooms into them. Of course, they are not gender specific. Use whatever you like. But there they are, a couple bathrooms. On the other side of the hall, you see the stairwell going up to the courtroom, as well as an elevator, because you want this to be accessible. And in the back there, in addition to the two doors going outside the back, you also have right here a little jury room, a little place where they can come down and deliberate separate from when they're upstairs in there. And so I actually did manage to squeeze in barely 12 chairs around that tiny little table. Yep, there they all are. So I think you just can't see the other four in shadow, but they're there, I swear. Look at that metal detector, checking the guy in. He's got a little wand. Guess the guy needed a little pat down as well. Oh, sorry. Oh, basis score. It does do that, doesn't it? Hey, Midvani. More Lego time, more beer time. So we got that seal, got a bench, all those little details that I frankly are usually exhausting for me to do because they can take a long time and it's the slowest part of my building process. I do the exteriors very fast and then after the fact go back in and do the interior, which can be really hard to reach down in there. But sometimes this polish is what to me makes the building feel finished. And so I'm always happy to do it. And this nice little reminder to see what I did. So there you got some stalls and sinks in the toilets. And a janitor, do what he can to keep that courtroom sparkling. And so, jury room. All right, let's move up a floor. Oh, I guess there's details in the back. We had AC unit. Here, the main courtroom, and really the rest of the bulk of the rest of the building. And I did it actually sideways, and that was to fit some things in better. I don't know if that's actually a sensible organization for a courthouse, especially I guess a one-room courthouse like this is, but it kind of worked out. But you can see I have in here not just the main floor, but also a little balcony laid in on top of there. Down one side we have, I think this is it's either the judge's chambers or a clerk's office. I can't quite, no, this is the judge's chambers, right behind where the judge sits. Got a bunch of law books there, a little computer, a little place for someone to sit across from them if they need to have converse with lawyers. I guess just one at a time though. Oh, and there's a judge. Apparently, I think this was a British court, so someone has a full wig and red robes there. But we got the judge in chambers there. I think I ripped off the wall to take this picture, get it from end on. And then on the other side, oh, just a little weight room. Maybe it's a place where a lawyer consult with the client. Someone can grab a sip of water. That's on the other side there. And now we're looking back down at that main corner room again. And sorry, context bugging me. This is looking again, obviously with that upper level balcony in place. A couple people sitting, looking down. Far down below, we have all of our jurors there, sitting, looking. You got the prosecutor. You have the defendant, who is obviously a criminal. There in orange. Well, I'm glad you don't have finals, and very glad you're here. Though you should do your work if you have to. But I'm super glad you're here, Julie. Thank you for choosing us. Over here we have a witness, and obviously the defendant's lawyer asked for permission to approach. Is talking to the witness there in the well. You got the judge sitting up presiding. We have I think a stenographer and reporter. I used to know all these things. I planned this out so well back when I did it. I was like researching all of where people had to be to get the bailiff and his little stand there. I only vaguely remember it now. I'm trying to go off of my legal eagle knowledge. Of course, this courthouse can give legal name changes. Unfortunately, there might be a wait since this courthouse only has a single courtroom. It's a small town, but they are very eager to help out and make that system and process as smooth as possible here at this courthouse. Looking down at the display, I was kind of glad I used. I think that was a mashup of proud and glad. I'm kind of proud that I used 2 capes like this to kind of look like flags hanging down on either side of the stand there. People doing their business, little microphone for the witness there as they're being interviewed. All the people there in the witness stand, which I had to alternate their arms because it was really tough to smush all of the jurors in there. I don't think I put a full 12. I think this is a different case that maybe you didn't have to have 12. I don't know. We'll see. There you go. Another view of the courtroom. Oh, nope. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's full 12. They're all there. Boom. Authenticity. This is a criminal case. You need your 12 jurors. Got little steps going up there, 2 levels. All the people with their alternating arms so I could fit them into the space. Oh, that's where my Coca-Cola shirt is. That's rare. So there's all the jurors. And then, again, up there in the balcony and the seats below, you got all the people watching the trial. Now, this view is, I took off that upper level, that upper balcony. You can see underneath, a little space for water in the back, still some scattered seats down here for people, as well as these 2 doors, which are not official Lego doors. I custom built those because they had to be narrow to fit in the space, but I wanted double doors entering into the courtroom. So I built these double doors below the clock, and then there's another double hinge things there to enter into the actual, I guess that's before the well, after the well, I don't really know. And then behind here you can see there's, up here is where the elevator came in, the stairs came up from downstairs, and then there's this other little stairwell going up to the balcony up above. So I was just kind of proud I was able to fit that little detail in there. And then there's a little room over here. So looking down from the balcony, another seal there above the judge. Get some dark wood paneling in alongside the tan. Ooh, I guess this is a dramatic shot. I was still figuring out a lot of the photography with this. So there's a little dramatic shot of the courtroom. Yep. A couple more shots. Oh, I didn't know how to use the flash there, but you can see down outside the courtroom. I was kind of happy with this too. There's this big arched doorway, so that in theory, in that little distance you have before entering the door, it would be a dramatic entryway into the closed courtroom. And then there's a little door to that little side office meeting room outside the courtroom. Yep, another view of the doorway. And there's the doors are open. So they were functional doors, which is important when you want to leave court or enter. And I think that's almost all the details to share. Here's the that balcony pulled out. It comes out in 2 pieces. Fits together. They're actually reversed from each other there. A couple little pieces of the roofs there sitting on the ground. There's the red roof laid in on top of it. And so it is just laid there. There's little kind of trays basically where I just laid the roof into it so it could line up. Well, I'm glad to hear it reminds of the Good Wife courtroom, because obviously this is built before I think Good Wife existed, and I take that as a sign that I did a good job doing it authentically enough, and that the show maybe did a good job being authentic enough that they can match up despite being at a different time. There's from the side. So I did like that red roof a lot, but I also built a black roof, and you can notice this has those sunlights, so that's built into the roof pieces themselves. So when they lift out. The red one doesn't have a sunroof, but the black roof and green roof both do, which is cool. It looked beautiful. It makes the roof a lot more flimsy, because I had to, I don't want to put windows over top of a solid space. You want to be able to see through them, which means there had to be a frame built around them rather than a solid roof piece like with the red. So the red's much sturdier. But the black and green, I think, look much cooler with that. So there's the red roof and the black roof, and then later I built the green roof. And so you have all of the roof options for the courthouse. And I think green is what I left on there in the end. All right. So thank you. There it is again, alongside a couple other modular buildings of mine, my post office and my TV station. We'll go through some of those, especially the TV station, another one that I loved how that came out. another time. But you bore with me, you stayed with me. Oh, there are a couple construction pieces. I'll quickly show some of these, and then we'll get to the actual building for this evening. So this is me starting off, right? Find all the way I can. Yes, no pink roof. Back then, I don't know if there would have been enough pink pieces to even try. Pink as a shade is still much more rare, and really only started to come in any large quantity when they released the Friends set, the quote unquote girl set for Lego. And it's something where they've I think done a good job of making Lego and reinforcing that Lego does not have to be gender specific. And to that point, there's something else I'll show in a second that I think reinforces something I'm happy to see in a brand that I love. But they still did kind of lean into Friends as the quote-unquote girl theme. And regardless of how a lot of people felt about it, it has been very successful. But I have to say, I know a lot of people of other gender identities who buy tons of the sets, not because they want the Friends sets, but because they want those unique colors, those purples and those pinks and teals, those shades that you don't see in most everyday Lego sets. So nowadays, maybe I could build a pink roof, but that would probably be a very expensive roof because those pieces are more rare and then therefore means much more expensive to get in any kind of quantity. But one thing I'm going to try to quickly switch to, let's see if this works. Hey, this is something that if you are not aware of it, be glad that you are now aware of it. I was super excited to see it. This is an official set being launched on June 1st in time for Pride Month, offered by the Lego Group, and it is their Everyone is Awesome Pride theme set using the colors of the Progress Pride flag. I'm going to buy a ton of these. I'm very excited about it. And I just love to see it. And some people, of course, have different feelings about basically rainbow consumerism and the notion of corporations appropriating messaging to effectively rainbow wash themselves. And I think there's definitely a lot of validity to those arguments. I can say it still warms my heart to see something I care about do something that's representative of something that's part of me and that I'm passionate about. So I love seeing this. And I can also say, as an employee of a large corporation, the pride efforts we're doing at work are not for, I think they have a benefit where they can hopefully be something that's happily received by the public, but a lot of it is for the people who work there. And we're often the ones, the LGBTQ people within the company, that are pushing for those things. And I know that was the case in this set, where the VP of product design who shared it and designed this built it for himself on his own desk. And a lot of it was born out of bullying and other things he experienced as a child, and now is being made as an official set. And I think that's an awesome story, and it just reinforces that for whatever cynical reasons we can see this being done by companies, I think there almost always is some kind of kernel of genuineness or authenticity to them. And I'm definitely going to get them. It is 10 p.m. I have it as 10:39 p.m., but I guess it depends on what time zone you're in. If that's a cue that I should start building, that's fair enough, and I'll get there soon enough. But I did just wanted to highlight that awesome set. And thank you, Jeannie, again, for reminding me to share it in this time. So this is back to that courthouse, some of the construction pics, just to show you in process. But yeah, there is, it can be an extremely messy process and a very space-consuming process as we build. I dumped so many white pieces out just trying to find the pieces I want. That's why it's good to sort by element and not by color. Much faster to find pieces. Don't make the mistake I made. But you can see how these things kind of formed and got structured. And this was an earlier version of the courthouse, built in a very different direction with a very different structure. And I liked it. There was aspects, especially the deeper wood, that I really appreciated. And I realized I wasn't being able to fit nearly as many things into the space as I wanted to because of the orientation. I was doing it front to back in the courthouse, with the stairwell coming in from the side. And I realized that it just wasn't, like, I like the idea of the judge coming out from behind the desk, and you can't do that in this orientation. There couldn't be windows behind there, so that's when I took pictures of it, but then I tore it down and rebuilt it entirely from the side. And so it's another way of how these things can take a while for me, because I don't plan ahead, and I'm figuring out as I build it, as I do it. There it is. You did good. You stayed with me, and I appreciate it. That's hopefully a reason why I think it's honestly both fun for me to relive them and to share them with you, but also where I'm coming from with what I'm able to build. And especially if we don't always get to complete things or totally do things, in this segment, I figure it's worth showing you what is possible, at least with more time. Because I was on vacation last week, I did come up with a different idea of what to do tonight. I was going to say that in the opposite order. I was going to say, I have a great idea to do to something tonight, and it's not at all driven by the fact that I didn't get to plan ahead. It's too late. I gave away the ghost on that one. We're going to do something that's based on the fact that I didn't have any time to plan ahead. But I think it could still be fun. I think it should be still pretty cool. Oh, and thank you, Midvani. Thank you for enjoying all those Facebook pictures. And it's worth noting, both for my promo, last minute promo, because I almost forgot to do that tonight on Instagram, and for right here beside us, I totally abused Ashley, if she's still there in the chat, a picture of her with her and I that our friend Jessica took while we were on vacation in Provincetown. That's Herring Cove Beach, watching the sunset. It was gorgeous. That's her holding the sun, and then I just added in my own description above it. So what we're going to do is a freestyle challenge. And what that means is I have a whole bunch of sets. I'm going to open up those sets, and I'm going to build something using only the pieces from those sets. So I'm going to limit myself, limit my options, and hopefully we'll be able to come up with something pretty cool. And now the big question is, should I build whatever I want, or are you going to get involved? Are you going to give me ideas on what you want to see me build from these sets? And I'm going to be stuck with whatever option you give me. That's an option. I'm saying that can be done that way. I didn't realize this is doing a shadow on my face. That's how we can play this. I'm open to that. I'm not beholden to it, but I'm open to it. So I would love for you in the chat to tell me what you want to do, how you want to play with this. Should I be building whatever I want, using these pieces, or would you give me ideas and we pick from them, we vote for them, whatever, and I build whatever you say I should build? We can talk about that. We can think about it. Start talking about it if you don't mind in the chat. Let me know what you want. Otherwise, I'm going to do whatever I want, and you're just going to be stuck with it. For the pieces, for what I'm going to build, here's what we're talking about. I have a few random sets I just found today. I have this little carrot house thing. It's all kind of squished. It's a little messed up. Let's, here we go. There is the camera set. I think it was, okay, so it says limited edition. I think when you bought so much during like Easter month, you got one of these with what you bought. I got a few that were in nice condition, one that's smashed up. So I saved the others. This one we can use as raw brick. Next, we have a Speed Champion set. A little Porsche. There you go. Is that how you say Porsche? Porsche? I have no idea. I haven't owned a car in 12 years. I don't know what you expect. We have a McLaren. Ooh. All right. Midvani in there with one idea. It's now your standard to beat. Falling wire style. Frank Lloyd Wright inspired. Mid-century modern. All right. I was expecting more like spaceship. I'm impressed at your commitment here. It'd be a question for what I can build. I don't think I can build at modular scale with these sets, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm not ruling anything out. I have a random Spider-Man set. I don't even know why I own this, but here it is. And then, this is the big one. I just got the new Friends Lego set. That light just went out. What the hell? Oh, I bumped it. I bumped it with the set because it's that big. This is... I think this is too big to fit. We're going to turn it this way. They have the Friends Lego set. It's the second Friends Lego set. It's actually built as a TV set. They had the coffee house. Now they have the two apartments. So I bought two. I bought two of these. I'm keeping one. This one I'm willing to use and do whatever with. So here's all. These are all the sets that can go into the mix for the raw brick. I have. For a while I was only building buildings that Lego didn't build. So Lego built an official movie theater set, the Palace Theater. So I did not build my own theater because the thinking was like, all right, Lego already has one. I'm going to build different ones. I don't really do that anymore. I now kind of build everything myself. Like once I built enough buildings of my own, I kind of wanted all the buildings to be my own. So I built my own police station, and I built my own town hall. We'll switch over to the mobile cam. That's my town hall going over here, which is in process. So I have not built my own theater. That is pretty cool. So the thing I'm concerned with is I don't know if I can do a modular sized thing with these sets. I arguably oversold a variety of things. What is going on with that shadow? Did this mic move? Am I in a different position? I don't know. Yes. Good question if I can do modular. Well, you know what? Let's open these up. Let's take a look. Let's see. We have 2 building related suggestions, which are possibly the same suggestion in that Lloyd, right, I don't know why I use his middle name first, would be doing mid-century modern stuff. Thank you for enjoying my town hall. I'm very happy with it. I have not done the interior on that. It's like I have like 4 buildings that I haven't finished the interior on, so that's what I've been doing. Did a gas station last time. I'm now going to open this thing. This is a cool little razor tool I got. I'm always scared of these things because I feel like somehow I'm going to end up like destroying myself with them because they're blades. But I'm not going to destroy my nails. I already use this. Let's cut into the sets and start to open them. As always, you must do some kind of tune as you build. Mine is do. All of those, you need all the do's. If you don't, it doesn't count. Quick check on the side. How are we doing with sound? Did anyone ever hear the music, or is it only me? Maybe I'm hallucinating it. Is the AC okay? Is it loud? Let me know all those things. All right, another building suggestion. Got LGBTQ gift shop. Loved it. Loved that. I definitely saw a lot. I definitely bought enough from LGBTQ gift shops over the last 9 days. Excuse me. Oof. All right, almost got these all open. This is not as knife friendly. We are going to put this away. Sorry, you can't see any of this. This is not very helpful. I'm opening sets. I haven't actually like opened them. I'm just loosening the edges so they will be easy to start dumping out. Narrow modular. Yeah, I can see that. Doing something. All right. Got some stickers. So let's start dumping these things out. I do save Lego stickers. I consider them official parts of the set because they did come from Lego. Not everyone always feels that way, or they don't like to use stickers at all, and I'm sympathetic to that, but I enjoy. I'll still use them if I think it can work. All right, tomorrow is going to be so much stuff to clean up, but oh geez, I hit a tree with that. All right, a Lego Town Hall tree. So let's start getting the pieces out. Got a car, alright. Let's hope I don't slip on these plastic bags later. Probably shouldn't just throw them. It's poor planning on my part. You know what, Jace? I actually do too. I have almost all of these Speed Champion sets, and then sometimes they're on sale, and I'll just like, oh, that's cool, or I can reuse as parts, and I'll buy an extra copy. So I have lots of copies of sets. Especially for ones I like. I either save the set that I think might have future value, and so I've saved a bunch of sets, or there's ones that I really do like them, and I want my own copy of them, and that kind of goes. That's true of the Speed Champion sets. Other sets lately, I don't tend to build the actual set because I tend to want to do my own version of whatever that is. So it's not as often as it used to be. Some hubcaps. Let's put those over here. All right. I think we're going to be relying heavily on the friend set if we're doing a building building. I think a piece fell. And I think that piece is gone for life. That's okay. All right. Cool. Oh! Almost had a collapse. Oh, goodness. It's still collapsing. Yeah, that friend set is too big to fit on that narrow shelf. Jeez. Oh, I hit the air conditioner with that one. All right. Wow, the carrot set had stickers. Who would think the carrot set has stickers? It has a bun. That's pretty cute. All right. I'll save you. I'll save you stickers. All right, let's see. Got the orange. Oh, geez, that's a purple egg. There are little eggs with this. That is so cool. I had no idea. All right. Open up another bit of orange. This would be the show. Just me opening up bags of Legos. I hope you enjoy. All right, we got a door though, and some windows. We have some progress towards your conventional building elements. So that's exciting right there. All right, all right. Okay. Now we got Spider-Man. Big instructions. More stickers. Huh. How y'all doing, by the way? I do not have the first friend set. Yeah, I never really got into buying the friend sets. I think mostly because a lot of my colors tended to be more like conventional Americana colors. Dark red brick, tan, white, gray. That it didn't really occur to me to start getting those sets until relatively recently. And now my rule is basically if a set is like 30% or more off, I'll go in like sprees of buying a whole bunch of sets. In this case, I got the Friends sets because I wanted the VIP Lego coin. And so I got the Lego coin, and then I'm like, well, if I'm going to check out, I might as well check out with something else. And I got the 2 Lego Friends sets. All right, we're nearing the midway point because that Friends set's going to have a lot of pieces. We're getting a pretty healthy pool. Stuff to work with here. Some pretty wide ranges of colors, that's for sure. I don't have the space coin. I missed that. I tried. It was all gone before before the site even loaded for me. Yeah, that was kind of a disaster from my perspective. I'm sure other people got it and are happy. Did you get it? Did you get any of the coins, Janice? Or do you try to or want to? Huh? See? It's not just me. I turn around it. You got a question too. Put it out. The sets. Goodness. All right, I was wrong. There might be enough for a building here. This is from that. 9 of them. I get that. So my problem is, and Ashley knows this well if she's still in chat, I am deeply susceptible to different kinds of marketing. In this case, I am on a chat, a thread with people from my Lego user group. And all of them go nuts over things, especially if they're exclusive. And so you join a chat where you're getting like literally 70 some chats in a couple hours, 70 some text messages in a couple hours talking about this stuff, and try not to feel like, oh, am I missing out on something? And find yourself getting sucked into some of that. That's what happened to me. And how I ended up with the, at least the one coin. Ooh. Yeah, these are definitely valid building parts. All right. I'm just going to set aside some of these that are like very building-esque. Yeah. I apologize, guys. You're like, you should do an actual modular. And I'm like, I don't know. This is shaping up. Miscusi. Alright. I just watched Euro Trip while we were on that vacation. So, hence the miscusi reference. Fun if body movie if you have not seen it. Alright. It's like the mini gift sets. So if you like the mini gift sets, is there something that you just tend to build yourself? Or I find a lot of people, once they grow up with something, that often is the genre that they build in almost for the rest of their lives. Or at least that's a very common scenario. Is that the case for you? Do you have something, a kind of thing you don't build? Scotty doesn't know. Get that lustre going. Got Matt Damon screaming. That was my ringtone on my first, not my first phone, but I felt like my first cool phone when I had a Razr flip phone. I figured out how to clip and create my own MP3 because I was not going to pay someone for ringtone. I made my own Scotty doesn't know ringtone on my Motorola Razr flip phone in the long ago. All right, I'm just opening up some of these bags without dumping them because it's getting a little crazy. This isn't all the bags. There are so many more bags that I have not opened. Goodness. All right. I swear it will get fast. We'll have real building at the hour mark. Oh, let's keep that couple together. Wow, this is like a couple modulars worth. All right. I can admit when I'm wrong. Kind of. What are your ringtones now, Midvani? If you don't mind my asking, of course. And you know what? You can lie. You can say something else. I'll believe it. I won't know. Until one day we meet, and then I'll be like, wait, but you said your ringtone was... And then the lies will all fall apart. Just keep that in mind. This has got to be the messiest build ever. And I haven't even built anything yet. It's just having all this stuff. I usually am able to like at least walk away from where I am with the trash. Here it's wherever I can reach. Alright. I'm hearing the music now. Are you hearing the music at all? I'm hearing some little bouncy bounce going on. Alright, one thing I might not be able to do with the modular is the sidewalk. So I'm not seeing any of the pieces for the modular standard for the sidewalk. So if you will permit me, I might add some of my own later on to do that part. If you allow me. Alright, get some more pieces here. Holy cow. Holy cow. Jeez. Alright, this set had a lot of pieces. Wow. Ooh, another purple doorway. I like it. Alright, more purple. Okay. While we've been doing this, I'm starting to have a little bit of an idea of what I can do and what I want to build with this modular. I have trash everywhere. Goodness. Usually I sit here to work. I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow. I'm definitely going to have to sit somewhere else. I don't know about anyone else in this whole working from home situation. I have multiple places, sit-down places in my apartment where I can work. Which really is my own blessing to be able to do that. Okay. The other thing I'm going to cheat with is I'm going to get my own base plate. So, give me just a quick second. I'll be right back with the base plate. Oh, Midvani, you do not want to see the Lego closet and the box upon box upon bag upon box of unsorted Lego. It's insane. You still don't hear the music. What is going on? All right. Anything at all. Well, okay, the music's in a low right now. I'll get that in a second. I'm gonna get the base plate. You tell me if there's music. Okay, it took a hot second, but base plate. Wow, this is gonna be so messy. All right. I'm gonna do some stereotypes here because what was requested was, well, we had a couple things, and I don't mean to ignore the initial request because Midvani, you were first with the Frank Lloyd Wright. And I think if I tried to do a Wright-inspired or Gary-inspired or any other kind of building like that, I am still a little unsure I would be capable of it with the piece I have here, at least at minifigure scale. Right, building it to the scale of a Lego minifigure, I don't feel like I will quite do it justice. I could do maybe a mini one, but not necessarily a big one, if that makes sense. But I think the thing I can do more readily, especially as I'm looking through all this, is build that LGBTQ themed gift shop. So if you will forgive me and if you will permit me, I think that's what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to build that. So there. I feel like I'm being very like smarmy snippy or something. I have no idea why. I don't feel that way. I don't know. It seems more amusing. But do genuinely forgive me there. I don't mean to sound rude or dismissive or randomly abrasive. All right. Do. All right, what I'm doing right now is I'm pulling out some white pieces as well as these purple pieces. Because what I'm picturing now is that the first floor will be purple with white edging. Right? I feel like that has a nice LGBTQ feel to it. You enter the store, and the building's little facade is light purple in just the theme of that store and that enterprise. So that's what I'm thinking. So I'm pulling out these white pieces, seeing what I have, and I'm pulling out these purple pieces. I have a whole bunch here from the friend set. I'll push things back. And because there are a healthy number of pieces, I think I can do something kind of nice edging-wise. Maybe even with this white wheel well, there might be something kind of interesting that can be done. Heck, at this point, the whole building might be purple because there's a lot of pieces here. Well, the whole building, I mean like the whole front, the whole facade. Whatever, we'll find out. We'll find out. No promises, no promises. Okay, the sides might be different colors to conserve the more limited amount of purple for the front. We have a lot of tan, so that might be the easier side. And then we have this brown color for the next floor. Okay, I feel good. Ish. So, mentioned that the sidewalk, that planning for the sidewalk, and I don't think I have all the pieces I would need for a proper sidewalk. At least not at a glance, I'm not seeing them. Yeah, I don't see any dark gray or light gray tile. So I think a conventional sidewalk is out. I hope you will forgive and permit me on that front. But there are still other things we can do. Now, something else that's standard with a modular building are the places for little Julie, you're here! Thank you. That's so awesome. I totally get it if you're making content, but so cool that you're here. I'm sorry, of course, that I missed the end. If any of you don't know Julie Nighthawk is an awesome person. Usagi, if you're there too, hi. I see like the emoji over my head to you as I'm doing that. But Julie's wife Usagi is often on stream. They're two fantastic and incredibly adorable people. Oop, I shook the desk too much. Who stream often. So Julie Nighthawk, username right there, just said streams someone that would be awesome to follow. Is a really cool person, and you can join the Nighthawk squad and fly safe, fly true. So I have no idea if I got that completely right, but I still want to do a little shout out. Well, you make me smile. You're awesome people. I'm sorry that I was streaming during at least any part of your stream. But so happy that you came by afterwards, and only sorry that I missed the end. I'm sure it was fantastic. You came as we are doing a building challenge, which is me attempting to, and I know you said you might have to create, and that's totally cool. But for whatever little bit you see here, the idea is that I am taking several Lego sets, I'm dumping out all the pieces, these official sets, and seeing what can I make with those pieces. And one of the things proposed was to actually try and go for the gold and make a full modular Lego building. And so that is what I'm attempting to do right now, is building a relatively small modular building, but something in the vein of one of my bigger buildings, like what you can see here to my right with my modular town hall. So this is the scale of the building I'm building to, not this size, but that my building would be able to mash up with this one and seem like it totally fits in the same town, in the same neighborhood. Because this is the Freestyle challenge. Finally figured it out. Okay, back to the building. So I was pulling out more white pieces because we're saying we're gonna make a white building. I'm looking right now to see if there's any pieces for the side. So normally on the sides of modular buildings you have a piece like this. This little pin piece is set 9 studs back. It's a part where in theory you could join buildings physically next to each other, physically connect them. I never do. Like, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but I still try to include it as part of like the formal standard that I'm building to. I don't really want to do yellow. I think that's ugly as heck. I'm not seeing many alternatives. Tan! That's what I'm going to do. Alright, I need 3 more. If I don't find them, I'll just do it solid. I can always change it later. No biggie. I'd like it to be official. I'd like it to be right. I want to do this right. Right? We're going to do it legit, even though we're constraining ourselves only to the pieces from like these 5 sets. Goodness. How loud is this as I shuffle the pieces? Can you like actually hear the pieces or hear me as I'm shuffling? I guess just let me know if it's disruptive. I got 2 great pieces, 10 pieces, so I can at least start at the top of the building. Good. Hey, ABSB. Thank you so much for coming by, and glad it's not very loud. I've been asking people constantly, am I loud enough? Can you hear me? And also, can you hear the music at all in the background, which I think is supposed to be playing. People so far have said they have not heard the music at all. I have no idea if that's changed. I turned the volume pretty far up while still trying to regulate it, so I have no idea if it finally worked or not, but Hopefully you're hearing something. Okay, more windows. That's cool. Alright, so I don't see more tan nectar pieces. Shoot. Well, that's okay. We'll leave them blank. I can change them later. Alright, so 9 studs back is the official modular standard. So I'm going to do that there. Boom. And then right across from it. Boom. We're off to a start. Off to a rip-roaring start. There will be 10 studs between them. And 6 and 6. Do we have any 4 tan pieces? Because for all that I'm doing this mashup and using whatever pieces are around, I don't want to compromise standards. I want this still to be monocolor as much as possible. You don't see too many patchwork buildings, and so I want my buildings to have consistent colors on them. All right, there we go. Boom, boom. I will. What do we want to use? Oh, I have that yellow. I have these yellow ones. Oh, what's that? All right. We will still do a little bit of patchwork just until I can find official pieces later on to swap in. We'll do that little yellow one there. Man, these are the most random colors. We opened 2 cars, a Lego pumpkin set, or carrot set, sorry, it's orange, and a Spider-Man set, and then the new Friends set are all of these pieces. It's a pretty random mix. I'm probably going to mostly just use the Friends, or the Friends set. And I'm sorry, I realized someone said the Friends set's cool. Do I have the first one? I do. I was thinking the Lego Friends theme, not the Friends TV show creator set. I do have that first one. I have a couple of that first one as well. Good question. Apologies for not following. Belatedly catching up. Alright. How deep do I want this to go? Yeah, alright. So, hey Jill, thank you for coming by. Hey Jessica, no music. What the frick? I don't get it. Because you've heard music in the past, right? On other streams. Like my past one other stream. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. I see in OBS, I see the little music. Anything there? Right. What can you do, right? What can you do? Okay. We got that. We've got a little space for where ideally I want a tan piece that I can't find. And we're walking. Put a gray piece in there. Fill in the gap. Your old connects. Wow. Alright. Well, I'm glad it was loud and clear in the past. I have no idea how to fix it here. Nope. That just mutes it. I got nothing. Alright. Sorry for this musicalist experience. It's not how it's supposed to be. One other thing I'm going to try. One other thing I'll try. Anything? Other hand? Alright, this is about as far as I'm comfortable going before discovering that it's been playing super loud this whole time and you're playing a mean trick on me. Okay. So we have the tan sides and back of the building. I think that's a nice little touch. That works well. Do a little tan door in the back there. Right smack dab in the middle. See if we want to keep it there later. What I'm going to do now is start working on the front of the building, the facade, which I do want to be purple and white. I think. All right. So actually, I'm probably be shorter. So we want usually in that Lego standard, when we have those pieces, we do a curb like this. And then you have a space for like a grate, and then at least 2 more tiles, so 6. This is kind of where the front of the building is 6 studs back, at least from the start. Okay, you hear it from the literal speakers behind me. All right, close enough, I guess. Still so weird. I don't know why it's not pulling through when it did before. I'm not doing anything. Yeah. Keeps life interesting, right? All right. See, I thought you guys were gonna have me build something small. I was gonna be like, all right, boom, boom, boom. There's a spaceship. We're going big. I admire that. I admire that in your moxie and going for broke, or having me go for broke. Okay. White front of the building. What would that look like? I think. Right. I think it might be kind of cool to do a piece end on like that for white. Be a little bit raised from the surface, but not as much as a full brick. We have white pieces here, tile pieces that can contribute to that. Maybe not enough. That might not actually pan out. Okay, started strong with the idea, but I don't see a lot of white tile pieces. That will make it hard to finish what I'm thinking about. I'm sorry, guys, I'm organizing things in front of me, which you can't really see, so let me try to push this back a little bit. Alrighty. That could be useful, that could be useful. Okay. Just had a thought. What if the first floor is tan and then the top 2 floors are purple? Thoughts? Reactions? I think I might try that. Shake it up on the fly. You never know what's going to happen. All right. Oh. Quickly throw in some windows here. see, brown back door. This is such a chaotic mess. There's so many pieces everywhere. There's so many bags everywhere, frankly. It's like I feel like the time pressure, because I don't want you sitting here watching me stare off in the distance, pondering what to do forever. It is kind of a fun little challenge to see what I can do and how rapidly I can do it. But it's definitely a change of pace. I hope this is interesting. Is this okay? Normally I've been preparing my pieces and having them all set out and knowing what I'm going to build, and that way I can go directly into it. And when I say normally, I mean the 2 times I've streamed before. But obviously it was not as practical. Work was way more hectic when I came back from vacation than I expected, and I was not able to plan like that. I hope this is still somewhat entertaining, somewhat enjoyable. All right. Running low on tan pieces. It's bopping for me now. I hope you can hear music. There's definitely some stuff happening here. Alright, got a little front to the building there. Oh! Julie, there are some pink pieces. As you can see, there's like 4 of them, 3 of them. This is probably why it's very hard to build you that pink roof, because there's so little. We'll save that. We'll set that aside. We'll probably go pretty simple. I do want to do interiors, but like I said before, I think I'm going to do mostly focus on exterior so that we can visually show you progress. Get you some bang for your hard-earned dollar here on the Transverse Network tonight. Well, we know Julie and Usagi were on stream earlier. Any of you other folks do anything cool tonight? Anything in particular? Thank you. This is how I operate. I assume that's a compliment. I think it's a compliment. Thank you. Wow, that's a dramatic music moment. Wish you could hear this. We can just hear a little bit of it. Some of the things it's hard to diagnose with streaming. At least I found, because I haven't done it so much. It's like I don't know how you practice. Everything is basically live the second you want to do it. So I don't know how you can I want to try this out and see. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of opportunity to do that. It's more just it's going or it's not going, and you better just hope it's working. I don't know. I would like to be able to almost do a closed stream so I could just refine the settings and be able to hear the result without having to inflict it upon people live. But does not seem to be an option, so here we are. Got a little couple windows on the back just to make it interesting. I don't see any of the pieces of the actual glassware. Usually glassware that goes inside these, but that's okay. Right, that makes sense, Jessica, just coming through the microphone. I have it set as an input, and again, it's weird that I can see the input even moving in Open Broadcast Studio, which seems to imply that, hey, something's playing. So I have no idea why we can't actually hear any of it. Mildly irritating, but such is life sometimes. All right, where am I? That was a drop right there. All right. All right, so what I'm doing right now is doing these plates on the side of the brick. Trying to think I can then put like smooth tiles on for top of them, and that maybe can be a kind of treatment for the front. Can maybe feel kind of interesting. That's what I was going to do with white, but now I'm thinking I'm going to do white and purple for the upper floors, and tan as a different contrast base color on the first floor. The thing is, I started off with all of these big tan pieces, and they're running low now, and I have a lot of space to fill. So let's see what's possible. And come to think of it, that's going to be true as I go higher up and higher up in the building. You gave me an interesting challenge tonight. You gave me an interesting challenge, that is for sure. Yes, this is going to be a fairly kludgy little build in the end here. Let's do this. I feel like at the end I'm going to build something that's like an Old West town. It's just a facade. There's no body to the building, let alone an interior. Yeah, I should say an Old West facade. I should say an Old West movie facade. Cool. For those of you willing to still stick around, I thank you as always. And I am still curious what else you've been up to. Anyone else, for that matter, I babbled on for a while about the vacation I was lucky enough to get to take. Anyone else taking any vacation, taking any time off? If restrictions in your area have cleared up, that it's safe to do so. Because I know there's some figuring out still to do after the CD's announcement for those who are in the States. Is anyone looking to travel at all? Do anything like that? Mull it over. Man, there are a lot of great pieces here. Let's save that. Alright, we're in. Ugh. Sorry for my silence. It's difficult to keep up a running bit of patter when I am actually building on the fly versus the pre-planned stuff. I have a hard time breaking my brain up to do multiple things at once. Oh, whoa, Midvani, you have a ton. And this weekend for you, Janet? Wow, so Midvani, you said LA, then Scandinavia. You kicked that up a notch. And then France, wow. And then Janice, you're saying this weekend you might go to Cabo and Vegas? You went cherry picking. You're not cherry picking. I was very slow on that one. I got there kind of in the end. So you went to cherry picking, which is cool. I don't think I fully understood that as an activity. I've done apple picking. I've never done cherry picking. Wow, that's pretty cool. So you did that, and then now you are looking at Cabo and Vegas. Sorry. I just saw you rightfully should love Montreal, Midvani. I want to warn you, once you get Jessica talking about Montreal, you're not going to hear anything else. It's a fairly non-stop. Once that train has left the station, that's the only train available for a while. It's a running joke. If Jessica has any amount of alcohol, then it's like, all right, how much conversation about how effing awesome Montreal is and how we all have to effing go. It's a major part of the rest of the evening. Once that dike has been opened. Double joke there. I'm certainly proud of my accidental joke there. All right. Great. I never thought about that. Mostly because I am so far behind. I have a new license when I renewed my license, but it is not. It's not an enhanced ID because I couldn't go out and get an eye test. So I was able to renew remotely with the caveat that I have to go in and get an eye test before it can be turned into an ID that's suitable for flight or international travel purposes. So I have an ID, but I can only travel within the states on it. My passport expired a long time ago. I used to travel a fair amount, but it's been a very long time. I think once work started cutting travel budgets years before there was a pandemic. There has really not been much occasion for me to travel in a long time, and most of my travel was through work. It wasn't usually international travel, wasn't personal. So jealous to hear of all that you get to do. Alright, just so you know, what I'm doing is I'm finding these little teeny tiny 1x1 plates to fill in a gap here, right here, so that can connect. And I can put that little tall standing piece can physically connect to the building. Oh, wait, and I can do the smaller ones? No, I don't. Yeeks. Alright, the downside of so many pieces is that they're now starting to get to near the edge of the table and fall off. Officially overflowing the surface. with Lego. Oh, that's a piece. Ha. Oh no, it doesn't quite fit. Oh, I thought I nailed it. There's a special art to where things line up so that they'll click together, and I thought I knew what I was doing, and it would appear that was a lie. I had tricked myself into thinking I had a clue. Darn it. Alright, alright. Cool. Sorry, I'm not properly paying attention to y'all. Hope you're good. Where? Yes. Just random exclamations. Where? Yes. That's the entirety of the thought process. Great. Okay. Obviously, I'm still building things. I'm still assembling them. I also am conscious that I feel like I'm not paying attention to you. And I want to pay attention to you. I am sorry. This is a new flow, to be sure. I'm doing all this. That's some of the things to learn here, right? Is how does this actually work? How can I build and chat smoothly and easily? Thank you for joining me in this experiment, and your patience as I learn all that. Oh, I think I got this. Oh, I think I got this. Yes. Yes. All right, this is very minor what I'm just doing right now. So I'm going to show you, tilt up in a second once I find the piece to finish the other side. Assuming it exists. No, yeah, I can jury rig it. I can almost jury rig it. Oh. I've not been sleeping great. Work has been a very intense return. I don't know how any of you others who are blessed to have employment, which I am very thankful to have. It has still been a deeply intense time at work, and quite stressful at times. And I still want to relax. I want to decompress. The challenge is now it's like the only time I can do that is like 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. And so I've been playing games and doing other things, and then I wake back up for an 8 a.m. meeting, and the cycle continues. I think it's also been my method of distracting myself, that I'm no longer on vacation. I'm no longer relaxing and having an awesome time and seeing Ashley and Jessica all the time and all those wonderful things. And I'm missing it, and the intense busyness of work allows me to kind of be distracted from it, but it's I think it's also me diving in so deep I don't have to focus on that gap, that absence a little bit too. So all to say, miss you both, miss our vacation. Let's all get super, super rich somehow so we can just be on vacation all the time. I think that should be an official plan. I recommend that for everyone. Get super rich. Surprised more people don't do that as a plan. And I said that joke line with so much privilege that is, sorry, that's nonsense. I mean, obviously it was nonsense, but I realize it's probably especially nonsense coming from someone who is lucky in many, many ways. Okay. Add some more pieces here. I'm running low on the big pieces. The big pieces that can fill out the sides. Ooh, I'm gonna do this. Yes, yes, yes. Figuring out things while we're here. Other notions to make the building interesting. There you go. I kind of hate filling in a wall with these little teeny tiny pieces because it's such an inefficient use of pieces that are otherwise very valuable. But when you're stuck with only so many pieces, you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright. Found another piece for the bottom there that's the correct color, so rip up the whole wall, pop it in, pop it back down. Alright. No. Yes. What do I want to do? Alright, so to give a little more explanation of just what it is I'm doing over here. What I did now was, ooh, here we go. Alright. So, from the building here, I have a little bit of relief there that's a little bit inset from that. I like things that are less than a normal amount because I feel like it gives the facade or other elements a little bit more relief that feels a little more realistic. What I'm thinking now is I might want to raise up these windows and add a little bit more detailing underneath them. And then do something across the top, of course, to close it off, and then we'll have kind of the front of our building on the first floor. We can do the more interesting and pretty upper floors with the purple and white, which I think will be a nice contrast from the more simplistic and straight-ledged first floor. And do you see how I said all that? And it sounded like I was very professional and know what I'm doing. Like that was all an intentional design. I'm crafty like that. It's craftiness. Here we go. These are the pieces. These are the pieces I need. little experiment. Sorry, I'm doing. I keep forgetting. I'm sorry. I'm doing things off camera. That is not useful for anyone. That's kind of something. Yeah. Starting point. Everyone hanging out okay? Everything all right? Periodic auditory check-in. Sorry, not that you have to type or anything or respond to anything. I just want to be mindful that I'm not leaving you to bored and vacant in the dust, wondering what's happening. So you get a little bit of activity on the side there. Oh shoot, and this time is going fast too. Seeing it count down here. Alright. What can I do? Isn't too slow for y'all. Thank you, Mabani. It's like, thank you for being my emotional chat support person. And not that you want all of it. All serving in that role inadvertently. Oh, goodness. Alright, the night of playing Sub-Zero, Subnautica Below Zero is coming into play. That was that yawn right there. I don't know if any of you ever played Subnautica, but it's a pretty fun game. I'm doing that more recently, getting into it. Recommend it. Okay. So, where was I doing? I was completing the top of the facade. I did not find another... I did not find this piece. Look at that. Alright. Oh. All right. No. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Ideally what I want is their 2x4 tan plate that I can put right here. I can kludge it with some other pieces, but I might need them, so I don't want to do that. But I think I'm going to do that for expediency's sake. Boom. Boom. Now we're going to look at doing something like that. One and a set. All right. Are there dark tan pieces? No, there aren't. There's brown. Is there much brown? No, there's not. Do like a line of brown. I'm trying to find other bricks to go down the side here since I'm so low on the brown pieces. Sorry, the tan pieces. I can fill in that gap. And ideally, like maybe a single color kind of line down the side might not look too terrible. But I don't even have enough brown to pull that off. This isn't related to that, but I was on a work call today with someone. We were working on a branding call, and they kept saying the word brand, but they're French, and so I kept hearing brown. So they're like brown. The brown, and they didn't enunciate the D, and so it just kind of trailed off. And so I'm like, why are they talking about brown so much? That's not in our color palette. And eventually I figured out he was saying brand. I was up last night, Ashley, until it was about, I think it was 4:45. No, 3:45 last night, 4:45 the night before. I have not been doing a great job sleeping. I've been doing an objectively terrible job sleeping. I think that's fair to say. So, that's what I get without people with true discipline around, and to make me go to bed at a reasonable hour. See, I'm useless here on my own. All right. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're close now. At least to the first floor. And I want to try to see if I can rapidly slap something up to give you a sense of what the upper floors can be. And even as I'm saying that, I have no idea if that's possible, but we'll find out. I'm sorry, because I feel like we got into like the least interesting part of this. I was not anticipating the level of the challenge you gave me. And I'm sorry that I now spent so much time talking about past things instead of building. You were in bed 3:30 with Vine. All right. Well, at least great minds staying overactive alike. Sorry that you were up so late too. It's I can't even claim it's insomnia because once I fall asleep great. I think it's that I wasn't prepared for my day to only be work things. Like I needed it to be something else before it would let me fall asleep. And so up I stayed. Tomorrow morning, in theory, my first meeting I really need to do is 11. But I'm supposed to attend this meeting at 8. Just because I'm like the business owner of the thing or whatever, the process. And I don't want to be a jerk and just ignore it. But I really want to be a jerk and ignore it. And just sleep through. We'll see. I'm gonna get lucky. The last, I think, like 2 times I woke up to find that the meeting had been canceled. The challenge is with people overseas, so it has to be, like for them it's already an inconvenient hour, so I'm conscious that I'm being very selfish in like them attending this thing and then me bailing because it's not convenient for me is not the most polite thing to do. Wow. We got so close. I'm really like scraping the bottom of the barrel to fill in the rest of this tan wall here. And that is an indicative of the challenges that they'll be faced higher up because there's only going to be fewer pieces of a color for the upper floors. I can maybe briefly pause and at least show how this could kind of go in the back. Because I almost got a solid floor there, right? Like on the side there, kind of petering out on pieces, but got there the most way. It got a little, I guess, sign. Probably wouldn't have a solid door, but this is the door there available with the pieces that we pulled out there. I'd do like maybe like a mullioned window or something with maybe a bigger contrast, but whatever. We got a solid window there. That's okay. I'd probably do a little bit of another level here, ideally with another color in it, and then still bracketed by tan. Then the next floor, which would be white rimmed with purple middle. That's what I was picturing in my head. The practical reality is proving a little bit harder to build that quickly. Sorry, I feel like I kind of let down a little bit there on my ambition versus the reality. This is a good lesson for me, because I've been wondering what would it be like when I build an actual modular on stream, and now I inadvertently got to very directly know. But it's one of those, the challenge is not only of the pace of doing it, but also the reality of when you don't have all the pieces that you need arranged ahead of time. This is the kind of thing that's going to happen. You're gonna peter out before you are prepared to do so. And I hate that lands on you at all in a less than stellar experience. Huh. Ha. Well, I am getting a surprising amount of last minute progress here. That's wasteful, but I can do it. Ideally, I want these to be smooth tiles, but I don't see them, so I'm using a stud. But you know what? That might not be bad anyway. That might be kind of interesting. Have a little different color going on there. Ha! There we go. Look at this. It is almost like I planned it. Not quite, but almost. Nearly. Ballpark. Alright, we're coming up on it. I'm going to try to quickly slap in a few final pieces for those of you willing to stick around. And then I will, it is a school night, it is Wednesday. I will stop it after this. But I refuse to end it without at least a somewhat finished front. Yes. Yas, even. There we go. Alright, folks. Here is the front of our rapidly done little building there. It's alright, I think. Not terrible, not quite the ornate thing I originally pictured, but I think it actually might serve as a nice contrast. So in an ideal world, if I was all super prepped for it, next would be putting on a floor. I don't know if I'd want this color, but I think this is the only kind of color with these current pieces, but I might actually do white if I cheat. White. Boom. And so that might be an even step back a little bit, like so that's a pronounced front, then the white. And then I mean you did an incredible amount with that space that you had. I would not feel too much like your first apartment was entirely classified as tiny. It was a little smaller. I would do white edges, and then ideally inset a little bit, do the purple. And so we'd end up with something that kind of feels mostly purple, because most of the body would be purple. Have white edges. I'd use the wheel wells as actually little kind of cornices. Is that the word? On the windows, which again, when all the white is there, would hopefully match up and feel like it's a part of it. So that was what I was picturing in my head. I would do a little bit more to get to that kind of space that felt like it was white and purple above the tan base. The white and purple is what I was stereotypically thinking of when we talked about doing an LGBTQ plus gift shop. I don't know what gift shop has a sailing ship as its logo, but I guess close enough. All right, folks. This was you indulging me in my poorly planned experimental stream, where I did not have all the pieces set aside to finish an official to me building I was already planning to do. Thought I'd do something random. And you took it and you challenged me and you went beyond and you had me try to actually do a modular from this, which I am impressed we even got this far, frankly, with the pieces we started with and the sets we started with. I was able to get a lot farther than I really ever thought I reasonably could. So thank you for that. And I think this is a building I'm going to finish. I might, again, swap in more pieces from my collection so I can actually fill in the walls. I can think of, do I actually want this style of window or do I do a different treatment? But I feel like there's actually a good start to a 16 stud wide modular here. So thank you. That's cool. And not something I would have expected to lead this from. I expected to come up with a bunch of janky little spaceships and cars and stuff that might not survive the end of the stream. This is something that I think has legs that can last longer, and I salute you for coming up with the idea. And even more so, I salute you for being here, for sticking around, for bearing with my foibles and my learnings in doing streaming here. It's always fun. It's always a blast to have you, and especially those I recognize. I love you, and I thank you so much for coming. And for anyone new who's attended, who's hung in there, who maybe wasn't able to chat, but you've still been watching, thank you so much for doing that and for being here. And we always welcome it. Thank you, Torben. Thank you for being here. And throughout, you were, I think, the first commenter. Amazing to still see you, and love that you are here. As always, this is a production of a lot of people. Obviously, it's me doing this, but I can only do it under the auspices of the bigger effort, which is the creation of the Transverse Network. And I'm thankful for everyone who's helped to get that going and to give me the opportunity to appear within it. If you do follow, you're going to get so much more amazing content. And coming up next from this, there are several shows to look out for that happen regularly. Normally, Valkyries is the show that comes before this. That has been moved to Fridays, so expect a Valkyrie show on Friday. I believe tomorrow is still planned the Behind Open Doors conversation to talk about some weightier things and potentially some more lascivious things that we don't always talk about. A slightly more adult show that happens during, for me, the day. So just to know that I believe is still happening tomorrow, hosted by the amazing Jeannie. On Mondays, we have Queer and Teen Kitchen, and that will be returning on Monday with the incomparable Billy And on Tuesdays, the flagship show that started it all, the Transgender Show, the interview series where Emily gets to talk to other people of trans experience or trans adjacent experience and get to share their stories and provide more insight for you and as well as for all of us explicitly within the community or at least tangentially related to it, bigger and bigger breadth of what it means to be. I'm glad I got to build with you. I'm glad I got to chat with you. I want you to go out there and be creative and continue to build and to share all the things that you're building. Feel free to share that on the Discord channel, which you can do !Discord in the chat to get that link. But even if you don't do it here, we can find you in other places. We can find you on Instagram. You can find us. We can connect and get to see and share all the wonderful things that all of us are creating in life. Have a wonderful night. The monologue has finally come to an end. And until next time, I'm Jess. This is the Builder's Block. You are awesome, and I can't wait to see you all again. Bye. And now I'll finally end it.